We've come to Granada in central eastern Nicaragua, staying in quite a nice self-catering hotel. A few nights over the Easter period. Granada is on the northern shore of Lake Nicaragua, so we're coming down to have a look at it today. This lake is absolutely huge. It's over 8,000 square kilometres. Ometepe is one of the islands in the lake, and we will be going there shortly. That's Mombacho volcano. We can see it from our apartment as well. There's a bit of cloud cover on it today. We've walked back to the historic centre of the city, and this is the main pedestrian street with lots of bars and restaurants on it. And I think we might just stop for a cheeky little beer. We're going to explore the historic centre a bit more today. See the cathedral up ahead on the main plaza. There's always been pretty fierce rivalry between here and Leon, where we were a couple of weeks ago. That's why they had to build the new city of Managua halfway between the two. This is the main plaza. We're approaching the main market up here. Most Nicaraguans will shop in these sorts of markets rather than supermarkets. You want to pick up a little bit of fruit and veg too whilst we're here. We're here over the Easter week and we weren't really sure how much would be open. Things seem to be running pretty much as normal. I guess it could be a little bit quieter than normal because a lot of Nicaraguans go to the beach for Easter, apparently. Just up ahead is the Church of Our Lady of Mercy, which is one of the oldest buildings in the city, dating, well, the first iteration of it dates to around 1534. It's been rebuilt several times since then. It's one of the iconic buildings in the city. Get a good view of the city from the roof of the church. It's nice stumbling across that Easter celebration with the brass band. In this direction you can see the cathedral. I really like the way there's courtyard gardens in the centre of each block in this city. You can see Ben waiting down below, the figure in the green t-shirt. We've got one more thing that we want to do in Granada before we head out to Ometepe Island. Let's have a look at the art collection in this museum. There's a bit of the history of the city as well. We're off to Ometepe Island today. Unfortunately, the ferry from here isn't running because the water level's too low. Rainy season's due to start quite soon. So instead, we're having to travel a bit further south. Ben found out that there's some kind of scam going on between the bus drivers and the taxi drivers. They drop you just shy of the port, so you have to get a taxi to the port. Of course, they overcharge you. So hence we're getting a taxi from our hotel. Ben, I don't think there's anything that winds him up more than taxi drivers. I've actually been having sleepless nights over this. We've arrived at the port. Ben's just buying the tickets. I am admiring this genius use of a hammock. It's in the shade of the truck there.
Shady spots are waiting.
I think the journey across the island's about an hour, maybe an hour and a half. This ferry's just pulled in alongside us, coming back from the island. Absolutely packed with, I guess, people on holiday over the Easter break. This is really the peak season for Nicaraguan holiday makers. And I think Ometepe Island is popular for them as much as foreigners. Well, we're off, and that's the island ahead of us with the 2 volcanoes. When the water levels are a bit higher, you can actually go by river through the middle of the island. I quite enjoyed that journey. Ben's arranged for a cab to pick us up here, as we're staying on the other side of the island, just slightly to the right of the centre as we're looking at it. Our hotel, if you can call it that, is called El Bamboo. It's just down here. And this is our little cabin.
Wow, this is amazing. Oh my god, look at that. And a bedroom upstairs. Fantastic.
And this is the upstairs. And those curtains just open up as well, so you can sit in bed and see that amazing view out over the lake. It gets nice breezes as well, actually. We're just off to have a bite to eat. I can't resist showing you these really pretty cactus flowers. And these really beautiful birds are just everywhere. They're a type of magpie. Not very popular amongst their neighbours because they eat other birds' eggs. Cheers! This is a really nice restaurant, and the bonus is that it serves curry, which is my favourite. We've hired some bikes because we thought it would be a really nice way to explore the island. There's only 3 roads on Ometepe. One around the southern volcano, one around the northern volcano, and one connecting them in the middle. We're cycling around the southern route today, which is the smaller volcano. Ben tells me it's around 40 kilometres today. But we'll have a stop at a beach about 3/4 of the way around. The main town's on the northern part of the island, and this southern part is a bit more rural. It's just the odd village dotted around, like this one that we're passing through now. Seems like most people are engaged in subsistence agriculture. There's the odd small farm as well. Most people just seem to keep a few animals, and there's plenty of fruit trees everywhere. A surprising number of people seem to get around on horseback. There's not very many cars on the island at all. Makes cycling very pleasant. We're passing quite a few plantain fields and the odd pile of plantains beside the road waiting to be picked up.
Pit stop number 1.
Yep.
Buenas.
Chap's out harvesting his plantains. We've seen a couple of trucks come by as well. Full of plantains in the back, obviously picking them up from farmers along this route. The volcano's been shrouded in cloud this morning, but it's just starting to lift. Pretty much see the top now. I think we're both finding this ride quite hard going, to be honest. Temperatures are up in the low 30s, and it's fairly slow going. It's the roads and the bikes and whatnot, and us, of course, as well. We didn't really set off as early as we'd have liked, what with the bikes and everything. But dawn here is really early. It was definitely light before 5 this morning. Even sunset's around 6 p.m. It just feels like the time zone's slightly out. Anyway, it means that it's hot much earlier in the day. Well, school's out. Most kids here start quite early and finish at noon.
Number 2. You've been in now, babe.
Tired and hot.
Yeah. It's not seeming like such a good idea, is it, anymore?
Luckily, it's not too far to our beach spot now. The beach is called Playa Mangoes, on the Mango Beach. It's supposed to be really nice. Needless to say, I'm really looking forward to a swim now. Even though it's obviously hot and pretty hard going, it is lovely seeing the island like this. It's a really pretty place. That's the larger volcano on the other part of the island, and cloud cover's completely disappeared from the top of it now. This is the turning down to the beach. I am so glad to see this right here, right now. Definitely time for another stop. This does look really nice. There's a bar restaurant here, and wow, great view of the volcano.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I've got watermelon juice. What have you got there?
Pineapple juice.
Is that all?
A little bit of Flor de Cana rum. That's really nice.
Is it?
Really good.
Well, that was a much needed stop, and I feel full of energy to finish off this ride now. Well, we're nearly back now, and I am quite glad of that. My bum is pretty sore, but it was a really interesting ride, really nice to see the island.
Well, we made it. Well done.
Yep. And buy some beer.
We're leaving the bikes behind today. We're just going for a bit of a walk. One of the things Ometepe is known for is its petroglyphs, and there's a good place to see them that's fairly close by. This is Hostel Finca Magdalena, and apparently there's quite a lot of these rock carvings on the land behind the farm.
Well, a short but very hot walk. Rewarded with this stunning view. See the lake over there?
They've created a relatively short trail through the woods here that takes in some of these petroglyphs. Actually, there's a few trails. I wouldn't mind doing the one up the mountain, but it is a bit hot today. Oh, here's one. You can still see these carvings really quite clearly on the rock. Oh, there's another one. Archaeologists don't really know very much about these. They've dated them to around 300 AD. There's plenty of them just lying around, mainly with spirals or anthropomorphic figures on. Apparently they found a lot of ceramic around here as well. There have been studies on the island by archaeologists, but they don't really seem to have come to any firm conclusions in terms of who the people were who lived here and what their lifestyles were like. Well, weirdly, it's been super fun looking for these petroglyphs in this wood, but I think we've probably found them, pretty much all of them. We're going to head back. I quite fancy going for a swim in the lake because it is so hot. It is so refreshing swimming in this lake. And so many birds around as well. Just a bit hard getting in because the boulders are covered in algae. Too loose to really step on. Loose and slippery. Well, our bums are still a little bit sore from the cycling the other day, but we are nevertheless going to take the bikes out again today.
So it's cooler this morning.
Yeah.
Setting off a bit earlier.
It's a bit cloudy too.
Yeah.
We're cycling north towards the larger volcano this morning. There's a natural pool called Ojo de Agua, which we're going to visit. My first instinct was to cycle around the northern part of the island as well, but after what we did the other day, I definitely thought better of it. So we're just doing a shorter hop today. Women are all busy doing their laundry in the river this morning. I've seen some women using the lake for this as well. It also acts as their shower or bath. We've just turned onto this track that leads down to the pools. It's been a nice ride this morning, so much cooler leaving a bit earlier. Well, the water is crystal clear, and I think we're the first people here. I think we're going to grab ourselves a coffee and then go for a swim. There's this short hike that you can do here as well. Seemed like quite a good idea in between swims, why not? This area is a mixture of woodland and plantain fields. This one's just been harvested. We're heading back in the heat of the day, so we're planning to make a few stops to cool down as we go. This viewpoint cum restaurant being the first of our stops. It really is quite a spectacular landscape with the volcanoes and the lake. It is beautiful. It's our last day in Ometepe today. I'm quite sad to go actually. It is just so beautiful here. Really fancy fresh coconut. Look at that cute girl in the bucket. Keeping cool in this hot weather. I'm wanting to play the game that kids that age love to play the world over. Well, that's it. We're back. Cycling's done for this trip anyway. As it's our last night on the island and actually our penultimate night in Nicaragua, we thought we'd go back to the Mango Beach and have some sunset drinks. We're getting a taxi this time though.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Stunning spot. It's just so beautiful here.